All right, so today's session, as I had mentioned, is the Remon product philosophy. We are focusing on our main product values, what Chairman On had designed for the essence of ICD, for the essence of Remon, and what ultimately determines how each product is developed and how each product is also marketed. And to understand those five values, which we'll go into more in depth, I have them first listed here. At our core, as many of you know, we are rooted in tradition. We are a K-beauty brand, and that comes with a lot of heritage. But we're also backed by science, which allows us to create within this fundamentality. Next, we look towards being sustainably sourced. And in that sustainability, we are also looking towards more friendly practices, vegan, utilizing, of course, cruelty-free status, and things of that essence. We also have our fourth product value of being simple and holistic. And last but certainly not least, a difference you'll love. Now, to understand who created these product values, we of course have to look at our founder and chairman, our CEO, Mr. On. Now, Mr. On is a fascinating individual. He has so much expertise and so much passion. And I think that's really important because the personal care industry is saturated. For those who didn't know, I actually was previously a cosmetic chemist at a raw material supplier before I came to join the Remon team almost 3 years ago. And I can easily say that I've seen a lot of repeat products. I've seen a lot of trends come and go. And so it's very important to create products that are not only unique, but that aren't attached to a trend, that have that timelessness about them. And Chairman On understands that in the creation of the various products he has introduced. He's had 25 years in the industry, and he has developed that love for products, not only as a user, but as an understanding that when someone goes to buy a product or when someone goes to sell a product, they are connected to that product. So they need to be proud of it at the same time. And so the specific tale goes that he was exploring the direct sales competition, which was in the early 2000s. And he was looking at the different products and wasn't jazzed. He didn't see something that really called out, that stood out. And that inspired him to make the change, to be the innovator that created the uniqueness. And so, with that, he really focused and dreamed up a brand that looked for not only results and efficacy, but prioritizing safety at the same time. And for the essence of the brand, it's within his appreciation of his family. He specifically was actually going to kiss his children goodnight after coming home from a long day of work, and he looked at his sleeping daughter's cheeks and he said, "Look at this glow. Look at this youthful beauty that she radiates. Why do we have to lose it as we age?" And since then, he was determined to explore or discover youthful cells. How can we obtain that youth at a cellular level again? And so that created ICD. Now, some of you have been around since ICD was previously in cell derm. And so as you may know, ICD is just a shortened version of it, but it stands for intracellular dermatology. So looking at cellular health to produce a variety of aesthetic benefits that we are so often looking for. Anti-aging, brightness, hydration, moisturization, it all comes from that root necessity of having healthy skin. And so each product is designed to bring you the various aesthetic goals that you may have, but to also ultimately ensure your skin is properly functioning as well. And so, with that in mind, as we come to our first product value of being rooted in tradition, this allows us to approach the formulation of these products with the desire to focus on skin health, but in the perspective of a Korean beauty formulation technique. With being rooted in K-beauty, not only do we have those ancient roots and the stories to be told with those roots, stories that you can connect with and even write your own, but there's also a significant staying power within the market. Yes, right now K-beauty is trending, but we're here to argue that while it is trending, it is not a trend. It is based within these generational teachings that have been passed down from mother to daughter on how to care for your skin. And of course, as we have developed a society, men have begun to incorporate these self-care practices as well. They see it as an opportunity to slow down and honor themselves every single day in the practice of their skincare routines. Most importantly, with being rooted in tradition, it's the expectation of undeniable results of that Korean glass skin. And all of that comes with a different formulation technique than what we may be originally used to in our Western beauty products. K-beauty really focuses on proactive protection and prevention of the skin rather than problem solving. We want to look at, that innate health instead of putting band-aids or quick fixes on those surface issues. To do so, we prioritize gentler ingredients. We're not really using AHAs and BHAs or retinoids, things that absolutely work and oftentimes work quickly, but with huge use limitations and user restrictions as well. We want to create products the majority of people can appreciate and don't really have to think about when they use them. All they really have to think about is what step is next. But in that same vein of thinking, we also want to make sure that were we to use an ingredient that has the potential to be harsh to the skin, we're keeping it at a very low concentration to ensure you are maintaining your skin's integrity. Because these ingredients are so gentle, a huge concept within K-beauty is the multi-step routine. Staying consistent, layering these products, and layering these ingredients is how you bring about that innate health to your skin that stays long term. So you'll see that consistency and patience is huge with any K-beauty product. We all want immediacy, especially when we're spoiled by Amazon and our packages come next day. But with skincare, you want to play the long game. Now, next, our second product value is being backed by science, and all of the science is focused within our Ask company, our Ask branches, rather. Now, the name Ask, of course, has purpose. It was chosen for a reason. An Ask company was founded by Chairman On underneath Remon, so it is a part of Remon. Ask company focuses on all of the business aspects of the various different science and research we do, but the main entities we'll focus on today are Ask Labs and Ask Base. Now, the slogan for these different companies is that the ask will find the answer. And what we mean by that is there's so much beauty in being curious, in creating hypotheses, finding the answer to that hypothesis, and starting the process over again, because this ensures no stagnancy. In creating personal care products, which as I already have mentioned, is already so saturated, you have to really look towards that exclusivity and that difference through creating and asking, what else can we do? What else is next? And so Ask prioritizes that. We prioritize the beauty in curiosity. Now, the first company I had mentioned was Ask Base. So Ask Base is actually located on Jeju Island, again, owned by Remon, and it's focusing on the raw material sourcing of a variety of ingredients utilized within our formulations. Here, I actually have a timeline of the development and foundation of Ask Base. So originally in 2019, it was called Ester Bio, which I don't really have a connection to, so I'm glad it's Ask Based now. That makes a little bit more romantic sense around the science. But we started our Byungpul extract production 2 years later in 2021, and it only further developed from there. So really what's important is Ask Based then took over the Hyundai Bioland Jeju plant in 2022, and that allowed us to occupy a large space to really start seriously producing not only our giant Byungpul extract, but a variety of other natural raw materials from Jeju Island. Now, with that all in mind, we also begin to process our cosmetics and skincare, initial formulations, looking at how we can begin to create new formulations before, of course, submitting them to various manufacturing partners. Now, with Ask Base and its importance in the Remon story, we're looking towards creating or upholding rather our importance of natural ingredients, but keeping it kind of close to home. Yes, we absolutely work with raw material suppliers as necessary, but there are specific instances in which we want to be the supplier for ingredients. Of course, our giant Byungpul, that is standard. But with other things like nettle, soapberry, camellia seed, all of these things native to Jeju, we have the capability of producing these these extracts ourselves. And that allows us a lot of quality and consistency in the production of our products. Now, in Ask Base production of these various ingredients, we follow all GMP or good manufacturing practice standards. And so it is often submitted to high level inspections to ensure that we're always producing these extracts with responsibility in practice. And so the sister company to Ask Base then is Ask Labs. And this is where all that research really is harnessed and where it is occurring. And it's important that Ask Labs often interacts with the CRIB, or the Korea Research Institute of Bioscience and Biotechnology, to find ways in which to maximize the not only the formulations, but key ingredients in formulation. For example, the utilization of our liposomes is a way in which we can maximize specific ingredients in formula and how they perform. But our various different connections, not only to crib, but to other important entities, allows us that difference within formulation, which is the very beginning of the appreciation of a Remon product and ultimately how you appreciate your Remon routine. It all comes in the careful selection and quality assurance at Ask Labs and at Ask Base. Now, Ask Labs is important because it has three separate branches of research. And one of those branches of research, of course, is our Byungpool Research Institute. But we also have to look at our Cosmetic Research Institute and the Food Research Institute. So that Cosmetics Research Lab or Institute is the branch of Ask Labs that focuses on innovating in skincare, hair, and body care, beginning those initial formulations, working with Ask Base to get a variety of different ingredients, and ultimately scaling it up at a a manufacturing partner. The Food Research Institute is focused on lifening. It's focused on producing a variety of functional foods with ingredient efficacy and safety in mind. But of course, most important is that Byungpool Research Institute. The establishment of this institute commits ourselves to our hero ingredient, that giant Byungpool. So we'll go over giant Byungpool alongside Jeju Lava Energy Water next week, actually. But I won't go into too much detail today. But what's important is, yes, we have our smart farm, we're growing these leaves, but we're committed to consistently see what else we can do with it. And that's another moment in which we won't stay stagnant on the utilization of our hero ingredient. Having this ingredient already produces the difference, but we want to keep going. We want to see novel derivatives of different phytonutrients and other applications in in not only skincare, hair, and body care, but in nutraceuticals as well. All right, so that third product value then is sustainably sourced. And in our intimate tie to Jeju Island and our upholding of natural ingredients, we want to be extremely respectful and responsible to the environment that we are pulling those ingredients from. As such, at Remon, sustainability isn't simply a practice, it's a promise. And it's something we have plenty of room to grow into, and we admit that. There is so much research going on within sustainability alone, and we are also looking at these new reports as well to find ways in which we can employ it in our own product production. So with that in mind, what we currently have is, of course, our collaboration with what is known as CJ Biomaterials. They helped us create a new packaging for our booster, our serum, and the dermatology cream, which are our most sold units already. They created what's called PLA PHA packaging. And this essentially is biodegradable packaging as an alternate to plastic entirely. So this is an ongoing research collaboration with CJ Biomaterials, but looking at ways in which we can create sustainability on the packaging front. In the same vein, all outer boxes of any products, so even here I have the Too Faced Oil Mist, all the boxes, they're going to have the FSC mixed label as I'm pointing here. That, or FSC, or the Forest Stewardship Council, essentially oversees the responsible utilization of arboreal resources, so paper, anything from forests. And with an FSC mixed label, that's just letting you know that that box was made from recycled plant materials and recycled paper materials as well. And of course, all Remon products are cruelty-free. That is standard for coming from Korea. The KFDA requires that all personal care products are cruelty-free. And of course, we're also vegan in all of our Bodolab products. We are V-Label specifically, which is a well-known, internationally recognized certification system for vegan products. Now, fourth, simple and holistic. Now, this one's important to me because I have been in personal care for most of my life. Even before I was a cosmetic chemist, I was using it. I was a consumer. I still am a consumer. And so I've always been used to having multiple different steps, multiple different routines, morning versus night, all my makeup, etc. But some people aren't. And the initial idea of having a multi-step routine within K-beauty can be daunting. While K-beauty is fundamental in its approach to skincare, we want to make sure it's not complex for someone to appreciate. So we not only define the different selections in our three basic tenets of cleansing, hydrating, and protecting, but we also initially give you those pre-designed rituals, the advanced, essential, and signature dermatology rituals, so that you can have something to follow. But from there, we hope that you feel encouraged to experiment, to mix and match, and ultimately find the routine that works for you. Now, in the basic utilization of these K-beauty tenets, these tenets are equally as important. No one can exist without the others. And you often find that we emphasize one or two for a new product launch or for a product highlight, but all of them are important for a good skincare routine, even outside of K-beauty. With cleansing, not only are you removing daily impurities, but you're preparing your skin for proper absorption of leave-on or topical products. And for those of you who went to Las Vegas, we did a deep dive on cleansing because we have the launch of a new cleanser coming in December. But cleansing is crucial for really maintaining not only proper desquamation or sloughing off of dead skin cells, but removing those more stubborn impurities that water alone or wiping alone cannot remove. Hydration, also crucial. Hydration, we like to lump in moisturization as well. And I'll mention it in almost session three of Product University that they're slightly different because moisturization focuses on oil versus hydration, really water stores. But really, we are just looking for the proper function of your skin barrier, of your cellular health, and that comes with hydration, really replenishing those water stores, assuring you have that aesthetic glow you know and love and want, but also that your skin cells are properly functioning. Mr. On, in his creation of ICD, actually really focused on hydration as the main promise and importance in every product because so much can go wrong if your skin is not properly hydrated. So one thing you can guarantee yourself is that almost all Remon product is going to have a basic performance of hydration with profound aesthetic results at the same time. Now, to lock in all of those efforts, of course, we have Protect. Protect in the most traditional sense is UV protection. So it's going to be your sunscreens. UV overexposure is detrimental to the skin, can cause irreversible photoaging, but we also look at protection in terms of your skin's innate protection, which is your skin barrier. Your skin barrier has a delicate balance of water within the cells and a surrounding lipid environment. So sometimes reinforcing your skin's innate protection is a practice of the Protect tenet. So we have a variety of different products like the two-phase oil mist or the multi-stick balm that we actually categorize as Protect for that very reason. But realistically, you are looking at guarding your skin, at locking in all of those efforts to hydrate and to cleanse to ensure that you stay skin healthy all day long. And last but not least, a difference you'll love. So there's no scientific evidence or explanation for this one, but the entire tagline for Remon is experience the difference, a difference you'll love. And what we mean by that is it's so easy to create collections of products that you never touch again. I have 4 or 5 different moisturizers I've tried out and now they're collecting dust in my cabinet, and perhaps like 17 different lip glosses I haven't seen since I bought them. Yet we still go to the store and we buy something different. Perhaps the packaging is unique or it's popular on social media, but we buy it because of that difference and our lack of connection to what we already had. Remon is here to claim that we are that difference you are looking for, not in a way, not only that you'll never look for another product again, but because these products will satisfy that innate curiosity you have. And in the creation of the difference, it is also much deeper than experiencing an aesthetic difference on your skin. It's the difference in the Remon community, in the family members, in the interaction with corporate as well. The difference can also be the opportunities you have faced since joining Remon or even since using the products. So the difference is very flexible in its ultimate definition, but we're really looking at creating products that allow you and empower you to create the difference you wish to see in your world. And that's our entire mission statement. and reimagining, redefining, and creating products that allow you to be that difference. And what's crucial is that or specify rather, your world, because your world is what you make of it. Your reality is what you create. And so we ultimately want to be by your side and collaborate with you in your goals, in your personal goals. So that's actually it for our first product university. It's short and sweet, but trust me, there is so much good content coming throughout the weeks. And of course, as I had mentioned, every single session has an associated outline, or I say worksheet, but there's nothing like you have to fill it in and turn it in to me next Wednesday. But feel free to scan the code here. I believe we are also dropping the link into the chat. And with that, there are also previous outlines still posted in the same folder. So if you ever want to look ahead before a session or print it out so you can write notes, feel free to do so. Some of them may be updated just a bit, but it all is the same main content. So I'll pause just a little bit here for anyone who does want to scan the QR code. But that is the main product philosophy. And I think it's so important we start here because it really does set us up with a healthy foundation of appreciating the different things we're focused on in the next few weeks. Of course, next week we have our discussion on those hero ingredients, that giant byungpul and the Jeju lava energy water. And so I hope now in your understanding of Ask Base, of Ask Labs, of Chairman On's vision, of our importance on sustainability, you'll appreciate or look into this in a different light, rather, that we're using these ingredients and that we're employing them in a variety of formulations. Now, last but certainly not least, I want to mention it now, but session 7, which is the second to last session, is our Q&A session. So feel free to start sending in questions if you have any. Of course, please label it Q&A session, Product University, something along those lines, because otherwise I will answer that question immediately. I love going into my email every morning and answering questions. So please just denote that it is for the Q&A session. You may be featured as I answer your question, but we just ask that you send it to the ritual@remon email by November 5th. That gives us enough time to collaborate with HQ on an answer. And I want to highlight here that it's not a typical Q&A session where you come in and you can ask questions and have them answered on the spot. We gather these questions ahead of time so that we can ensure we are concisely answering and answering accurately as well. I've seen fantastic questions in the past, and giving that respect to them really allows for complete clarity to the asker. Is that a word, asker? But I digress. With that all in mind, thank you so much for you all being here this Thursday. I know there was also an opportunity call tonight, so for whomever, chose to be here instead of that call, I so appreciate you. Please let me know if you have any questions. Ritual inbox is always open to you, but I am so excited for the sessions ahead and to have you all as my new students. But without further ado, I hope you have a fantastic Thursday night, and I will see you next Wednesday. All right. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.